Hello and welcome to the Authentic Freedom Virtual Church. My name is Lori Lumbie and I am the pastor and spiritual director of this online virtual community. Let me pause for a moment to read to you from our mission statement. We are a community of men and women who consider Jesus to be our teacher, while honoring the spiritual truths inherent within all sacred traditions. We recognize the divine as that which is at once outside of us, within us, and present within all of creation, and which can be acknowledged by any name, image, or presence. We believe in the inherent potential of all human beings to become self-actualized and acknowledge the spiritual journey as a formative tool in this endeavor. We believe in the law of love and seek to know more fully the love of the divine that dwells within us and which seeks to be known in the world through us, in service to the betterment of our world. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate Pentecost, the day in which we honor the presence and the awakening of the Holy Spirit. Let's pause for a minute to prepare our minds and our hearts to receive God's nourishment for us today. Huela tachlan lenesuna ela patsa min bisha. 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 I share with you as our opening one of the lines from the Aramaic Lord's Prayer, which has traditionally been translated, "Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." When we return to that passage in the original Aramaic, the language that Jesus spoke, we see a different meaning in this phrase. And specifically, what we might understand it to be saying is asking for God's help and assistance and stating an intention that we not be deluded by illusion, but that we be freed from what holds us back from living our truth. In other words, do not let us get trapped by the illusion, the false perceptions of our fears, or the false perceptions of separation, but instead release us from these fears so that we may be free to live and enjoy our truth fully in this world and in this life. I chose that as our opening song today because one of the things that Jesus says about the Holy Spirit is he calls it the Spirit of Truth. And unfortunately, in the Christian tradition, there has not been enough discussion or exploration on the topic of the Holy Spirit. But we are fortunate because we do have assistance from our Eastern brothers and sisters who have given expression, had experience of, and given voice to some of the many ways in which the Spirit of Truth seeks to be known in and through us. One of the ways in which the Spirit of Truth seeks to be known through us is through our physical bodies. Specifically, the Spirit identifies that it is trying to speak with us through physical pain. And I'm going to use myself as an example to help us to understand and comprehend how the Spirit speaks to us through our physical pain. So today, I'm on day 8 of a migraine, which is not very much fun. And traditionally, in Western medicine, migraines are treated with pain relievers, rest, all of these kinds of things. But ultimately, there doesn't seem to be a cure for migraines, though sometimes they are hormonally caused and medication can help by adjusting our hormonal balance. One of the things that I have learned to do when I experience physical pain, such as the migraine that I have right now, is to ask myself the question, what might my body be trying to say to me that I'm not hearing in other ways? And this is how I sort this out. So I have a migraine, which is also bringing up a lot of pain in my neck and my shoulders. In energy medicine, which is one of the things that I have incorporated into the Authentic Freedom Protocol for a reason, in energy medicine, the neck and the shoulders are related to our throat chakra. The throat chakra is the energy center through which we are invited to take time to listen, to be open to hearing, and to giving voice to our truth. Again, the throat chakra is the center through which we take time to listen, to hear, and to be open to giving voice to our truth. It's not a coincidence that I have neck, shoulder pain, and a migraine right now, because I've been given an opportunity to explore some professional possibilities that when I sit and reflect on them, I have to admit and recognize that some fears have been stirred up as a result of these opportunities. And specifically, one of those fears is that I will not be free to express my truth. And this is the fifth fear that we explore in the Authentic Freedom Protocol. Sitting in that fear of not being able to express my truth, I know that one of the ways that I subconsciously try to manage that fear is to think it away. In other words, if I can come up with all the possible scenarios, all the possible outcomes, if I can think of how I might be able to express my truth, or how it might be thwarted, or how I might have to bargain it, now I'm in my head. And the head is the place where we go into worry, where we try to control things by thinking it, by thinking through it, by planning it, by anticipating, by coming up with all the possible scenarios. So I've gone from the fear that I won't be able to express my truth to my head trying to think it away. No wonder I have a migraine. As such, the invitation for me is to identify those fears, to acknowledge those fears, and to use the spiritual tools that I have to move through those fears. And these are the tools that I have laid out in my Authentic Freedom book and present in all the courses and the work that I do with people, both one-on-one and in classes. Primarily, the tools that I use are spiritual tools that have to do with meditation and contemplation, and acknowledging that God alone can help me to transcend those fears. When I remember to turn to God and ask for help and ask for support in how to move through the fear that I will not be free to speak my truth, so that I can trust that all will unfold in the way that it needs to. This is the foundational platform for authentic freedom. So as we take a look again at the Holy Spirit, we have an opportunity to acknowledge that the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, often speaks through us, through our bodies, through our physical pain, through our illnesses, through our injuries, through our emotional and mental pain or imbalances, and that this is the way that she speaks to us, our truth. If we can't hear it or see it otherwise, the Holy Spirit will move through our physical body to help us to take note of the pain and to dig deeper and find out what it is trying to say to us. As many physical and spiritual teachers have said, the body doesn't lie. And it is the Holy Spirit that is trying to speak truth through us in our physical experience. So as we celebrate the Feast of Pentecost this week, I invite you to be attentive to how the Holy Spirit might be speaking to you through your physical body. And to assist you with that, I will include a handout on this page, just below this post, that will show you the 7 core fears as outlined in Authentic Freedom and their corresponding physical manifestations. So, the fear that I will not be able to speak my truth will show up in neck and shoulder pain. The fear that I do not know my truth or that I cannot discern it clearly will show up in pain in my head. And it goes on. So I invite you to be present this week to your physical body and to ask the Holy Spirit how she is communicating or trying to communicate truth to you in the places where you might be experiencing pain, illness, or injury. And if you are looking for release and support in moving through those fears, then you just simply need to return to one of your spiritual practices to remember that place of love and peace and connection with God, knowing that God is moving us to exactly where we need to be. So thank you for joining us today, and happy Pentecost. And again, if this service was supportive and meaningful to you, please show your support by offering a donation to Authentic Freedom Ministries that you can also do at the bottom of this page. Thank you, and have a great week.